Good afternoon. Welcome to Pastor John's Fireside Chat. It is Wednesday, May 12th. I hope that you're doing well. Last Wednesday, we began a journey through Psalm 23. And today we're going to be focusing on verse 3. But before we get there, I just want to remind you where we've been. Verse 1, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. We have a God who takes care of his sheep. He knows what we need and he provides it. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He gives us that good food that we need. He leads me beside the quiet or the still waters because sheep will not drink from running water. And then verse 3, he restores my soul. He guides me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. This is a really important verse in the 6 verses of Psalm 23 because it really sets the context for why we need a good shepherd. We often translate, or the English translation, he restoreth my soul, he restores my soul, and we often interpret that as he makes me feel good in perilous times. He comforts me and refreshes my spirit, and that's all true, but it misses the point of what verse 3 is all about. The Hebrew word for, or translated he restores, is shuv. And shuv means literally to return, to bring back. It's a term used for repentance. And don't miss the significance of this. Sheep wander away. We go on unrighteous paths and we get lost. And as Kenneth Bailey points out, when a sheep realizes that it's lost, it will lie down under a bush or near a rock trying to hide, and it will start to bleat, basically calling to the good shepherd for help. And it's incumbent upon the good shepherd to have his ears turned towards his sheep, because if he doesn't hear the bleating of the sheep before the predators do, well, there's lamb chops for dinner, so to speak. And so that good shepherd will be listening for his sheep, and he'll go and find the sheep in order to bring it back to where it belongs. Another interesting thought about sheep is that when they realize that they're lost and they just kind of lie down and start to bleat, they'll be very traumatized because they realize that they're at the mercy of predators as well as the good shepherd. And if we want to personify the sheep, they're hoping that the good shepherd will find them before the wolves or the lions find them. But they're traumatized by this. And oftentimes their legs won't work. I'm sure you've probably seen pictures of Jesus carrying the lamb on his shoulders. Well, that's just not a beautiful image. It's often the case because they're so scared their legs fail to work. And so the good shepherd lifts up that sheep and brings it back to where it needs to be. We all, like sheep, have gone astray, the prophet Isaiah tells us. We know what it's like to be lost. And that's why we need a good shepherd, that one who will find us at great personal cost and risk to himself. So much so that he would die in order that we might live. And he does it so he can find us and bring us to safety, to bring us back to where we belong. I don't know about you, but I find verse 3 incredibly comforting, because I can confess that I have wandered from my good shepherd. I have found myself in places that I never intended to be, never wanted to be, but just wandered away from where I should be. But thankfully, Jesus didn't let go of me. He continued to search for me until he found me, and he brought me back to where I needed to be. And he'll do the same thing for you. Why? Because he is the good shepherd. And I pray that you will experience Jesus looking for you if you're wandering away, or comforting you, carrying you on his shoulders if you've been lost but now he has found you, bringing you to that place where you need to be, that paths of righteousness for his name's sake, so that you can experience life abundantly because of your good shepherd. Have a great day in the Lord.